Hi everyone, I hope you to be great. Thanks for being here again, Sergio. Welcome to another chapter analyzing some situations that we live as English teachers.
Right. Thank you so much, Itza, for being here with me. And yes, I'm excited to talk about all these different topics that we have today, especially bringing out experiences, bringing out confessions, perhaps. I don't know, but we'll see how it goes.
All the things that we're sharing here are for improving, for sharing with people some stuff that maybe they don't see at the time that their kids are at school taking English classes.
Right.
Today's topic is what motivates students to Learn English, and what motivates teachers to teach it. I'm not reading from a board that is at the left.
Right. No. Not even noticed.
Yeah. There are a lot of things that we need to talk about that main question.
Right. How do you motivate students to learn English, Itza?
I think motivation it's a very big topic where we can say a lot of things and analyze our experiences and other visions from other countries, from other people, and specifically the context that students have.
Right. Exactly. Because every classroom is never the same. Right?
That's why education is a social science.
It's a social science. Because you said one thing for sure that is always right. Students come from different backgrounds. Students come from a different point of views of why they're learning. Students come because they feel or don't feel motivated to be in the classroom. And that's basically our jobs every day, to find what motivates them.
But what's the main concept of motivation? Have you ever think about it?
Yes, I've thought about it many times.
It's what makes people to get up from their beds every day. Well, that's my point of view.
Yes, exactly. We can say that it starts from there. Why do you get up every day?
That's the question here, right in a comment. No,
Why do you get
no,
up
in
every
general,
day?
even if you're an engineer or nurse or any other profession, write in a comment. What motivates you for getting up from your bed and do your
thing? So students, why do you think, what motivates students to get up every day from their beds? And many of them don't have it easy. They don't have it that easy. They come many times from very far places.
Yeah. And so the teachers.
And also the teachers. And many of them have to get up so early. Not just the time that people traditionally get up.
3 hours earlier.
2-3 hours earlier.
2 a.m. Nah, just kidding.
To wake up, to be ready, to come to school, to take the bus to get them to school sometimes.
A headache was caused only thinking about the time when you wake up.
Exactly. Headaches can come up just thinking about that. And then on top of that, add the fact that sometimes you don't sleep at the time that you need to sleep. Many times you don't have enough hours of rest. And then you have to get up.
But are we here for complaining or for proposing? No, well, for both. No, just
both.
kidding.
Confessions. This is time for confessions.
Hashtag confession. One of the points that students are motivated for learning English, it's a better life.
It's a better life.
But I think that better life could mean many things.
Many different things.
What's the meaning for you for better life?
A better life for me, and I think we could share it together and many people that are listening to us, is just stability, economical stability. Having enough money to buy your food, having enough money to buy an iPhone 15,
manifesting an iPhone.
Having enough money to have gasoline for your car, take your kids to school.
For basic necessities.
Basic necessities and beyond. Just economic stability to accomplish those things.
So,
Isn't that the right thing for you?
If we take as a reference the Maslow pyramid, first are the physiological needs, starting with food, a place for sleeping. Well, that's like in the second level. But yeah, basic necessities, food.
Basic necessities and more that you want to do with your life.
Yeah.
So sometimes you want to travel, and that is an expense.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to buy a car, that is an expense. Sometimes you want to continue learning something more, investing in your own self.
You know what?
That's an
I want to learn some bakery things.
Right. And what do you need to learn?
Money.
Money.
And the desire of learning.
And the desire of learning. So exactly. So you need to be able to have money and the desire to get your own personal motivation to get that.
Yeah.
How are you going to get money? How are you going to get what you need?
I don't know. Making a podcast.
Follow us.
Yeah. Or maybe with a sponsor of a very famous brand that would like to be appearing here in the podcast of two teachers.
Exactly. But students, going back to students.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Going back to students. What do you think they get motivated because of the same reasons?
No.
No.
Completely no.
Let's start with a high school student. Let's go
Okay.
back all the way to the high school student.
When you were at high school,
What motivated me?
Yeah.
I knew someday that I was going to be someone.
But that has another meaning.
That has another meaning.
What means to be someone?
What means to be someone? Means someone that you just don't depend on your parents anymore.
Okay, that could be one meaning,
That
but
could be
that's a
one.
very good meaning.
Yeah.
Because we don't know when our parents will leave from this world. I mean, maybe I'm a little thought with this topic, but that's what happens. It is what it is.
Yeah.
It ain't what it is.
You're never going to be always with them. And we would love to be with our parents all the time.
Parents are important.
Parents are important. But when is going to be the time that you don't have them anymore? What are you going to do about it? So students at this age, think about these things. I thought about these things. Maybe not all of them, because some mature more than others. But when is it going to be the right time for you to be on your own? Does that motivate you?
I was thinking about all the things that you're saying. Well, it's like, at what age are you going to get your own car? You know, I'm 26 and I don't have a car.
Okay.
But I have students with 18 and they have a car.
Right. But it's not their car. It's their parents' car. Many times they drive their parents' car.
Well,
Because sometimes I've seen students driving in a car that is way nearer than mine. And you're like, wait a second, how do they get like that nicer vehicle at that age?
or maybe their boyfriend. Well, in the case of many girls, they have a boyfriend that provided them the car.
It could be many different reasons.
Yeah. Well, the point of the main point here is about economic stability. Get money for basic necessities.
Right. And be independent.
And someone who you want to be, because there's different. Money is a material thing, and money, according to many metaphors, is a consequence of
The hard work that you have
the
behind.
hard work
Right.
or other circumstances. But let's go with this concept of someone who you want to be. I have a chapter. I don't know if I will upload this before or after or before, but I have a chapter talking about the value that we give to something. And
Right.
this will take me to other point, that is parents, family pressure.
Right.
Maybe we can study the career that we love, that we want, but that was not the career that our parents wanted for us.
Very, very, very difficult situation and complicated, right?
Yeah, also you're
Wow.
a dad.
Yeah, I'm a father, and I hope one day I could be just a facilitator for my daughter to choose what she wants.
What she
Not
wants, whatever.
Whatever she
So
wants.
you don't want her to be a teacher.
I don't want her to be a teacher if she doesn't want to be. Because in essence,
So at her, I don't remember the age, but
Yeah.
the age that she has,
she's 8 years old.
and
yeah.
she already said that she.
No, she has not said that she doesn't want to be or
Okay.
wants to be something.
But you don't want that for her.
I don't want her to be worried about what I want for
Okay.
her. I want her to be worried about how she's going to get what she wants,
Yeah.
which is another story.
Okay.
But I want her to just feel free that whatever she chooses, I'm going to be there to support.
And you recommend to the parents to have like the same kind
I recommend
of
for
thinking.
parents to have a flexible type thinking.
You know
Not-
what?
Yes.
I like a lot to ask to people that comes to this podcast. What would you say or tell to the parents that are watching you? In this case, for example, with this context.
Yes. Well, for the parents that are watching and they're wondering, how much is enough? How much pressure is enough, really?
That's a question
That's a
for the
question.
audience.
Yes, for the audience. For example, if you have a parent who is very, very strict, is that the right way to approach your children to make the right decision? Or if you have a parent who is very, very liberal, is that the right way to approach your children to make the right decision? My opinion here, and this is for parents, is just to be flexible and to be there to listen to them, no matter the age. My daughter is 8, and she believes she wants to be a doctor, for example.
At 8.
At 8, but then again, maybe that's going to change in the next year.
You hope?
I hope, or I don't hope. I don't know. Maybe something less expensive. I guess. No, just kidding. But the point is,
She's going to watch this.
yeah, she's gonna watch this video and say, "Dad, what are you saying?" But no, the right thing here is just to make sure that whatever she decides is, I hope to have enough patience, enough care, sympathy, just to listen and tell her, "I'm here." No matter what that is.
That's a very concrete answer. Well, I think. So returning to this point, maybe parents try to push their kids or children to study English because it, as we have talked in some chapters before, it opens you more doors and opportunities.
Right, and sometimes students don't see those things. When you tell a student, "Hey, student, English is going to open doors," and they're like, "What is that?"
Yeah, for example, maybe here in the city, it's very common to go to a factory as an engineer, but I could share with you that also as a beauty pageant, it helped me a lot to know English.
Yeah.
And maybe that could be a motivation for the girls that one day they would like to be a beauty pageant.
Right. Yeah, because they know that, or maybe and you can tell them that without English, it's probably going to be more difficult to compete, isn't it?
Or you're not going to be able to compete.
Or you're not going to be able to compete. Can you give us like an example how?
Yeah. For example, for the Miss Universe Mexico beauty pageant, for the contest, you needed a C1 or 2 for being able to be there, for have more possibilities of representing Mexico in the Miss Universe competition. Not advertising.
Right. Do you remember like what type of questions
Yeah.
they ask you?
Yeah. First of all, I was at the Miss World beauty pageant. That's another contest.
Right.
But it's like the similar thing. You need to be beautiful and answer English questions and have a social project that helps to the community and that kind of things. But in this case, I remember that they took us to an English institute. So people specialized in the language was going to have an interview with us.
Wow.
In English, obviously. First, they started with questions like, who do you live with? And then we finished with questions like, how do you see yourself in 5 years? And there is where they prove or where they try to understand your English level in the way that you answer that question.
Makes a lot of sense.
So it's like I had the English as a backup. Well, in my life, I always wanted to participate in those contests, but maybe I didn't realize that was possible.
Right.
Until I was there and I was like, oh, English language, C1, check.
Right. Exactly. So imagine the two type of questions that you just asked, that you just said. Do you live with your parents? Is a yes and no question.
Yeah.
A1, A2 level, you can possibly answer it. A1, A2 is basic level. But Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years once this competition is over? Perhaps that's not an A1, A2 level. That is a B2, C1 level, even more. Why? Because you have to express yourself now, currently living where you are and where you see yourself 5 years from now, future thinking.
With
Yes,
details.
with details and more.
Maybe answering the WH questions.
Exactly. So that's why opens doors, like Itza just said. English opens doors. Now, in terms of factories, how many engineers or future prospects, future engineers do we know, Itza?
My dad is engineer.
Your dad's an engineer. No, but talking about students.
Oh.
How many do you know that wants to be engineers?
Well, a lot.
Many of them.
Yeah.
And what are the possibilities for these future engineers to get to be an engineer with no English?
Minus.
Let's talk about minus, right?
-5.
-5 or so. Why? Because companies these days want people who are specialized in the language.
Even if they are, sorry for saying this, even if they are not, I mean, if they don't have a bachelor degree. Well, I have listened many stories about people that they don't have like lots of papers or credentials, but they know English.
Exactly.
And they are hired.
The companies have to like rely on people with no credentials just because of the language. When an engineer with English can just easily get a good position at work. Right. Excellent.
And then we're coming back to the economic stability.
Economic stability. That is right. That's how things start to connect. Students, listen, learn English because everything connects. The language with your goals go together these days. English is not, we go back to it, Itza, English is not it's something that you just want to have as a hobby. English is...
Like going to the gym.
Exactly. English is a lifestyle.
A lifestyle.
That is right. English is a lifestyle. You need to have it with you all the time.
Yeah. Well, I think from that point of view could be everything, or maybe if later sometime something comes to my mind, I will share it here. That's why is this podcast for.
Exactly.
But now let's go with the teachers.
Yes, because you're right. We've been talking about students, but teachers are watching us. What motivates you to teach English? Think
about that question, or write it here in a comment.
Write it in a comment. What is it that motivates you?
Motivates you to teach English? And then you're going to start thinking a lot.
Yes, and maybe your comments can be brought up in our next podcast.
Yeah, or in a live
podcast.
Yeah.
Right?
One of the points we don't have in a board that is on our left is the image of respect, but you wrote that. I would like you to share and explain that point. Why do you think, well, maybe I don't know if it's the difference of the generations, but why do you think that English bring us an image of respect to the teachers?
Right, because I wrote that, and we plan before we have our podcast, and one of the things I thought that image of respect is something that is brought up because students see you as a person who knows a second language. And just as a person who knows a second language, that means that you have put more effort and time and sacrifice to know a second language, whatever the means was, whatever the situation, whatever the context. Some had an opportunity to go here to the States, some didn't, whatever it was. The point is you learn it. So that is an image of respect because it took you 2 or 3 or 4 more times more work than monolinguals, people with one language.
So we're superior.
Is not the word I want to say that we're superior.
But you want to.
But maybe I thought about it. No, the point is, what I'm trying to say is that the more educated, the more knowledgeable you are, the more you're going to be respected for what you know. Only if you stay humble with what you know.
No, well, that's a good lesson for the people that is watching us. Then we have personal academies. What motivates teachers to teach English? To have their personal academies and as an extra money.
Right. Yeah. How many English teachers that are watching don't have a personal academy
Me.
or a side job? Yeah, so like us here, we have side jobs, we work, we have English opens doors, and it's not just for students.
Or
for
you need to open
teachers.
them.
Or you need to open them, but it's much easier to find a way of earning extra income.
Money is the center of the universe.
Money can be the center of the universe if you wish you would like that. So how many teachers, Itza, do you know that have their own academies?
Like 10.
Like 10. And so it's like you know English, and it's like a taquito stand, right? So there's so many of them. But then again, it's just another way of earning income and making a difference with those students that want to learn. So I respect you, teacher that are watching, that has decided to make an academy, because you're making a difference in this beloved country.
And you have a great responsibility.
And you have a great responsibility and great respect.
Don't forget about it.
Exactly.
And we have another point. Increase. You know what? Well, I think that I feel more identified with the motives of the students for learning English.
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know, maybe because economic stability.
Yeah.
I would like to develop those motives now that I have the tools, but that's another topic. The last point for teachers for learning English, what motivates them, increase the importance
of a language.
we are going to develop in a electronic board.
Right, exactly. I mean, how many times, teachers, have you been in a system where the system doesn't believe that English is important?
Many times.
How does that make you feel?
How does that makes me feel? Burnout.
Burnout, exactly. When you're in a system where the system doesn't believe that English is important, which happens in many schools, both public and private schools.
Do you think that in public and private?
I think in both.
Well, in the
Public and
private school where I was, were the private schools where I studied, English was a priority.
And that's how it needs to be. But now private schools believe that. Why? Why am I saying that? Why do you think? Well, it turns out sometimes private schools, what they really want is just more seats, more students, not necessarily better quality education. It's not always the case with all private schools, because we know, you and I know, like top schools, that's not the case. But there are. And public schools,
Yeah.
the same story. How many times have you gone into a public school where English is not important? English is just another subject. English is not a lifestyle.
Many schools.
Many schools. So this is the reason why we think that if you are a teacher and you're listening to us, you're making a difference in any school system where you are, because you're making the language important just because you're there believing in it. Do you agree?
Yeah. Yeah, I believe. I mean, it's hard, I have thought that education is a vicious circle. And I know that maybe we could say here in this episode that English is important, what motivates students, but we need the help of all the community.
Yes.
Parents, education authorities, government, the students, to find that reason for waking up from the bed. Or not only from waking up to the bed, maybe this is a little direct what I'm going to say, because it's not enough to wake up from the bed. It's important once you are there at school to get into the class, into the English class.
To not fall asleep, to participate. There was once a video I saw, a Canadian video. That was like about 2 minutes, And one of the teachers that very drastically, maybe too radical, he said, if you student don't make 5 questions in a classroom, slap yourself in the head when you get out. Just because you weren't there. Physically you're there, but you weren't really there to learn. So students, if you're listening, participate in class. What does that mean? What is participation to you? How can a student participate in class?
Raising his hand.
Raising their hand.
Well, that's the logical answer.
Right, but can you demonstrate another way to participate in class?
Ask.
Ask questions. Do you students stay with questions when you leave the classroom? Do you students stay with questions
But you
when
know
teacher
what?
finishes the class?
That could be another topic. Why students don't ask their doubts? Because maybe the teacher will get mad.
Teachers don't get mad when a student.
That's
asks
what
a
you're
question.
getting paid for.
Yes, that's what.
Well, that's my point
what
of
we're
view.
getting paid for, right? We are teachers too, but what do we need in Mexico to make a difference? We want students to be
Motivated.
thinkers, motivated to think by themselves, so they can make a difference. To think, so invite them to ask you questions. Don't stop them from asking you those.
Because curiosity is the sense of the human existence.
Curiosity.
Jens Cernan, American astronaut.
There we go. Well said. See, quotes are coming out. Philosophy is on our side
Well,
tonight.
we start practicing some philosophies when we are talking here. But, well, in general, we have comments in general. I have a note with me that says, an education system that doesn't value the teacher's mood, I think, is deeply wrong.
That doesn't value the teacher's moods. Okay.
How does the teacher feel?
Right. We want.
It's like, for example, do you think that you are earning enough? What's missing? Oh, a projector. Or
Right.
conditioner air. Or you know what? Cold fronts are coming these days.
Teachers, do you get asked that question? Are you valued in the place that you work? Do they ask you?
I'm asking myself that question.
Yeah, so they ask you how you truly feel about where you work?
Or if you are an education authority.
If you're an educational authority, do you ask your teachers how they feel? Are you doing the best you can to make your staff feel competent, feel ready, motivated to teach every day the 35, 40 students that they have in a class?
To celebrate their birthdays.
To celebrate their birthdays?
Or if you understand when they go outside the city to get more experience, not only in English, in different topics.
Right.
Or in personal projects that are linked with teaching.
Which are very important, which makes your teachers more experienced, which makes your teachers with more weapons and of intelligence, more weapons of vocabulary, of what to say.
Soft skills. I'm a soft skiller. I'm a soft skills person that promotes them.
Exactly. So yes, directors reflect on these questions. Teachers reflect on these questions.
For you,
for your own selves. And students, find the motivation. If you don't have it, what motivates you? It's not necessarily what we just discussed in this video.
It could be not only like the future. It could be like, I don't know, go and see your friends.
Right. Maybe you have friends in the US. Maybe you have friends with the ones that you play on a game.
Or you want to marry to someone that lives in a country where English is spoken.
Exactly. So whatever motivates you, keep it every single day in your thoughts and use it when you feel like not getting up. To remember, why am I getting up? And do it.
What motivates us to teach English?
What motivates you?
Or first, this is when we were students, don't you think that? When you were a student, what used to motivate you to learn English? Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember.
It could be any age.
I remember. I remember that what motivated me to learn English was that I wanted to have my own things. I wanted to have my own stuff that I could buy by myself, that I didn't depend on my family anymore, that if I wanted to buy a simple pizza, outside when I was hungry. I could just pull out some dollars because I was in the States and buy it. It was not like, hey, Dad, do you have money? I want to, I don't want to go through that anymore. So that was my motivation.
That was your motivation as a student?
As a student, yes.
Well, I think I have a motivation when I was a student to learn English is that I remember when DVDs format started to appear at the commerce of the movies. And I remember that the first 3 movies that my dad brought to home were Nemo, Finding Nemo, The Lion King, and I don't remember the other one. Oh, Swam Lake.
Nice.
Oh, from Barbie. And first I remember that the movie only had English language and the subtitles in Spanish. But I wanted at the end of all to understand. Well, that's one thing. And also when you have people that you know at the United States.
Right.
And the desire of communicating.
Right.
And through those years, maybe to be a complete person in the academic way. Someone that has a career, knows English. And I am thankful with my parents because of the education that I've received, prioritizing English as one of the disciplines because I know how to play some instruments and that kind of things, but I wanted to learn English for communicating when we were students.
Right.
But now, have you ever thought about what motivates you to teach English?
Yeah, now that I can buy my own pizza.
Yeah.
As many times as I want. I mean, what motivates me now is the fact that I can make a difference in these young people's lives.
That's very reflexive.
Yeah, because we live in a city that we know that it really needs a lot of changing. And changing is not just with the people that are in government, or the people that go to schools and stuff. Changing in the fact that we need people's mindset to be different. To look at our city and to say, oh my God, this city really needs help.
Yeah, a lot of help.
A lot of help. So where am I going to get people eventually that can see that? Well, with the young people to teach them and say, hey.
I think you have a very romantic vision, but it's okay. It's your point of view.
Yeah, that's my point of view. That's what motivates me really.
Go out of my podcast.
Yeah.
Nah, just kidding. I don't know if would you like to add something to that question? What motivates you for teaching English?
I think, I just want to return the question to the teachers that are watching us, because everybody might say so many different things: money, power,
or is the only thing that they have left?
Personal growth, professional growth, whatever. Everybody has different ways of explaining that. But I think the true value of education is making a difference. And that's what motivates me.
Sergio Gonzalez.
Exactly.
2023.
2023.
Well, in my case, what motivates me to teach English? Maybe it's part of my ego, but I think that I'm from the counted people that has a very good English level and lots of patience.
Lots of patience, yes.
That's what maybe motivates me, that I feel special for having some traits in myself.
In your genetic DNA.
Yeah.
To compete.
We can think about as a teacher, but you know what? I would like to develop something for helping beauty pageants, English for beauty pageants.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Coming soon.
It's coming soon, yes. That would be nice because, like you said, how can you make beauty translated to academics? Can be both. You can be beautiful and smart.
And know English.
Yeah, smart, bilingual. So it is possible.
Coming soon.
Coming soon.
Itza's Academy. English for beauty pageants. You can send a message if you need some help with that, and I will send you how much it will be. Would you like to add something in general?
I just think the teachers out there that are watching us and students today, just think about this once again and don't stop reflecting over this. It's not something you just dismiss maybe tomorrow. It's something that you have to reflect every single day. Whatever motivates you, keep going at it to finish what your dreams were or are. Get them, make them a reality. And teachers, don't forget that you are an example to your students, and you are who can make the difference with them and make them realize that they can get and pursue their dreams and your own dreams. Don't forget about your own dreams, teachers. You have your own dreams
And projects.
and projects. Don't stop working on those projects. Don't stop working on those dreams. Make them a reality. We are just as important. That's what I want to add.
Thank you so much, Sergio. And thank you for the audience for watching us again in this episode in this English section. You know, I would like to maybe later or in a few months, like, share these opinions in Spanish.
Yes.
But no, here the main point is motivating you for learning English so you can understand our content.
Right, yeah. But something else, Itza, in the next episode, we can have it live.
In Spanish or in English?
In both. Podemos cambiarlo al español sin ningún
Español.
problema. Español. Yes. That's not a
Okay.
problem, but it would be nice.
Thank you, Sergio, for being here, sharing microphones with me.
Thank you, Itza.
And thank you guys for watching us. Don't forget to follow us in our social media. In my case, well, every day, every time I share my social media with you, and I'm posting lots of things. Lots of projects are coming for this channel, for this page, or whatever you see this content.
Mm-hmm. And in my case, Teachers Leaders, that is my own personal academy. If you want English classes, come and visit my page as well.
So thanks for watching.
Thank
and
you.
see you in the next chapter. Bye.
Bye, you guys.